Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're an old subscriber, thank you and welcome back. And if you're new here, it is DA Fittings right here. And I make sewing tutorial on women's clothing. So today we're going to be making this beautiful two-piece. It is a Bubu dress and a trouser. And if this is your style and you would love to know how this is made, then you might want to stick around. Click on the like, drop a comment, and subscribe. Okay, so this is the fabric we're going to be using. I already made the black, so I went ahead to remake another one. So I'm just recording. So these are the measurements we're going to be using. The neck width is 3, the neck depth for the back is 1, and for the front is 12. The blouse length is 48, the sleeve length is 19, and then the trouser, the waist is 28, the hip is 40, and then the trouser length is 45 plus 1 inch sewing allowance, that is 46. So we're going to be making use of this fabric. It is a crepe fabric or a lavender fabric, and I just want to show you how I already folded it. So let's assume this is the width of the fabric. Okay, so now on the width of the fabric we're going to measure 48 inches, that is our length for the dress, into 2, 48 for the front and then 48 for the back. And this 48 is optional. It depends on what you want, the length you want to work with. I'm working with 48, that is why I wrote 48 there. So now after getting your 48 inches twice, that is 96 inches, you want to fold it into 2 and then go ahead to fold it into 4. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want a shoulder joining at that part. I want it to just be together. I want the front and the back to be together. So that part there is our shoulder joining, is our shoulder, sorry. So I'm just going to do it again. Measure 48 inches into 2, that is 96 inches on the width, that is that rough part of your fabric, and then go ahead to fold it into 2, and it's going to look something like this. And then you want to fold it into 4. The reason why I'm using the paper is because the fabric is big and I want you to understand what I have done, and that is what I have done on the fabric. As you see, I folded it into 2 and then into 4. So now the next thing we're going to do is to get our neck width, and like I said, the measurement we're going to be working with is 3 on the width and then 1 on the length. We're going to be working for the back first and then we'll proceed to the front. So you just want to join your width and the length together, 3 inches to the 1 inch. And then we're also going to get our shoulder measurement and then the sleeve length. Now I'm just going to mark out that shoulder measurement because we're going to get the sleeve length from that point. It's not as if we're going to be cutting it out. We're just going to mark our shoulder measurement. Shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5. The shoulder is 15, so divided by 2 is 7.5, and then the sleeve length is 18. And then from that part that we marked the sleeve length, we want to come down by 10 inches. I'm very sorry that you can't see this very clear. And then we're just going to connect that 10 inches to the shoulder part. And then you just want to come in. It depends on how big you want your dress to look. I want my arm to be very big. I want it to be very big. So I came in by 4 inches from that part right there. So the full width of my dress is 23 inches. Now you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, it's just depending on what you want, but for this one I want it to be big. So I'm just going to take 21 inches down to the bottom, to the length, just to get a straight line so it will be easy for me to cut. So now I have done that. I had to even push it up so you'd see it because my camera wasn't capturing the entire table. Okay, so now that that is done, we want to get a curve at that arm part. So now you're going to take 1 inch towards the body and then 1 inch towards the arm and then connect it like this. Okay, so I'm just trying to get my waist length from the shoulder. I'm going to get my waist length. My waist length originally is 16, but I'm coming up by 1 inch, that is 15. And the reason why I'm doing this is because there's going to be a belt inside the gown. So I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4, the quarter of my waist, which is 7, as you see, and then I'm just going to rule a line straight down just as a guide to know where I'm going to be fixing the belt. Like I said, I divided my waist into 4, which is 7, and then that's what I marked there on the waist length. Okay, so I'm just going to rule that line straight down as a guide for our front. Okay, we're going to be cutting that out, but I want you to watch closely at what I am doing. I'm just getting a straight line down, and I'm going to tell you why I am actually doing that line right now. So now we're going to cut. You want to cut out the back neckline first. Please ignore that straight line I just ruled and focus on what I'm doing. I'm actually cutting the back neckline first. Okay, and then I'm also going to cut out the sides. Do not cut out any other thing again. Just watch what I'm doing and follow what I am doing. Okay. Okay, so now I have cut out that other part. I'm now going to separate the front from the back. That is why I said do not cut anything. Do not cut on that straight line because you have to separate it first before cutting. So now that part that the straight line is, that will be our front, and then the other side is the back. So now that I've separated the front from the back, I'm going to fold the front into 2, just as you see me doing, so that we can proceed to work on the front part. Okay, so now I've folded it, and you can see we cannot go ahead now to cut on that line that I actually marked. That will be our front. So I'm just trying to get the shoulder part by just ruling a line on that part there, as you see me do. So I'm just going to cut out this part right here. Okay, so now that I've cut out that part, I'm just going to place my hand there and then try to mark that same point on the other side as a guide to know where I am going to fix my belt. Okay, just going to put my hand there and then rule a straight line as you see me doing. Okay, so now that is how the front looks. It's that easy. So I'm just going to open it up so you can see how it looks. So this is how the front looks when you cut out that part. So that is the back, that is the sleeve. You can see that there's no shoulder joining. The back and the front are both connected. And that part is where we're going to fix our belt. Okay, so guys, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to cut out that middle band for that part we cut out for the front. We're going to replace it. So this is the part I cut out, and remember it was 3 inches because we cut it out from the neck width. So we're going to cut out a very long band, and we're going to add half inches as our joining allowance. So this is just, we're going to use this one as a guide to cut out a very long band for the middle part. So I've gone ahead to cut out the band, and this is how it looks. It is 3.5 inches, like I said. We remove 3, so our joining allowance, we need to add half inches for our joining allowance, and it is very long. It has to be very long. So you want to go ahead and press it, fold it in two, and then press it very well. So I'll do that and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. But before then, I went ahead to cut out 2 straps for our belt, and this is how it looks. So I'm going to sew on the belt. I'm going to sew on the belt, and then I'm going to flip it over and give it a very good press so that it flattens out. So I'll do that and I'll show you what it looks like. So I've gone ahead to fold my band for the middle part, and if you notice, I had to join another fabric because it's very long. So I had to join another fabric like you see me do, just like that. I joined it at the middle, okay, so that by the time we fix it, it's going to rest on the front neckline. They're going to be equal. Don't worry, when I finish sewing, you understand what I'm trying to say. So that is how it looks. I've gone ahead to flatten it with my iron, and then I'm going to get the middle part after folding it in two like this. I'm going to get the middle part and notch it. Please do not notch on the folded part. Okay, don't notch on the folded part, notch on this other side like you see me doing. So now that I've gone ahead to notch it, I want to open it to show you what it looks like. So that is what it looks like. Now we're going to get our neck measurement. Fold the notched part into 2 like you see me do. Fold it into 2. And then from the top part, you want to make sure that part, in case you joined like I did, in case you joined the fabric like that, like I did, you want to make sure they are touching, the lines are touching each other, like they are resting on each other very well. That is if you joined an extra fabric like I did, but if you did not, very good. So now I want to get our neck measurement. So from the top, that part we notched from the very top, you take 12 inches down. Now I don't want it to be too exposed, that's why I'm taking 12 inches. You can decide to go lower if you want it to, be a bit open, but 12 inches is perfect. So I'm just going to be working with 12 inches. So I'm going to be marking out 12 inches, and I'm just going to pin that down like you see me doing. And then notice that there is a slit under the blouse or the gown. So I'm going to be working for that slit, and like I said, it depends on what you want. You might want your sleeve to be very open, you might want it to be closed. It just depends on what you want. Now, like I said earlier, you want to make your band very long. You want to make this strap very long so that you can it's better for it to be longer, and then you can cut out what you want, what you don't want, than for it to be shorter than your dress, and then your dress will become shorter. I don't know if you understand what I just said right now. So I am going to be working with 16 inches for my slits. Okay, I'm going to be working with 16 inches for my slit, and I'm just going to mark it right there. Because, like I said, you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can make it more open or more closed. It depends on what you want. Okay, so I'm going to be marking 16 inches right there, and then I'm going to pin that down. I'm just going to rule a line straight just as a guide. That line that I ruled there, I'm going to be sewing on that line. So from the neck point to the slit point, you're going to be sewing on that part. Do not sew on the other part, just sew on that part you see me mark. Okay, just going to so I've gone ahead to turn my belt strap, and I also flattened it very well. And this, I've also gone ahead to sew on the strap for the middle. So this is how I, okay, so this is exactly what I've done. I have sewn from where I marked the 12 inches to where I also marked my slit to end. So after doing that, we're just going to open it up like you see me doing, and it's going to look like this. The notch part is going to rest on each other if you did the right thing, and it's just going to look like this. Now, like I said, that part I joined at the top is optional. You might want to do it straight up, you might want to join anyhow you want to do it. It's up to you. And this is the slit, okay? So this is how it's going to look like after closing it and then opening it up like this. You can see that my notch points are resting on each other. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to attach it to our dress. So now you want to get the midpoint of the back neckline. You want to get the midpoint like this, and then go ahead to notch it. You want to get the midpoint and then notch it like this. Okay. Okay, so now this is the right part and this other part is the left. I'm just going to write on it so that you understand what I'm trying to do. This is the left part and this is the right part. Okay, so now this is I'm going to mark out the left part, not as if there's a left part, but then you know how this fabric is, the edge of this fabric is kind of it has some kind of hole, so that is the part I'm going to be using to, that's the part that's going to rest on my neck. I'm just going to write on it so that I'll just know that that is the part that will be inside. Okay, this part is going to rest on my neck. So the part I did not write on would be the part to rest, to be attached to the right part of my dress like this. So it's going to be like right on right part touching right part, or just as you see me doing. So now after pinning the notched part on the notched part, the notch part of the band on the notched part of the dress, I'm going to sew it from that part to the bottom. So I'll take this to the machine and I will show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after attaching it, and I've also gone ahead to overlock the rough part. You want to do that so that your work looks very neat. So this is how it looks on the outside. You want to go ahead to press it very well so it will be flat. Okay, so now after doing this, we want to go ahead to I think I'm using going ahead or go ahead too much. So now I want to go ahead and attach our belt to the front bodice. All right, so I already weaved out the rough edge of my belt since it's going to be inside, and this is how I'm going to be attaching it to the blouse or to the dress. I keep saying blouse and dress. You can wear it as a gown or as a blouse, however you want to wear it, it's fine. So this is how I am going to attach our belt. I've gone ahead to attach the belt to the gown, and now I am just going to hem the sleeve and also the bottom of the dress. But you want to first of all hem the sleeve. Now you might want to weave the edge, the rough edge, and then just maybe fold it in with a hemming glue, or you want to fold it in twice, just depending on what you want. Okay, so now I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm going to close the sides and also hem the bottom of the gown, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So now this is what it looks like. I actually wanted to make the trouser, but I think the video is too long, so I'm going to be doing that in another video. So if you want me to do that, drop a comment and I will do just that. I mean, I'll drop the trouser tutorial. So if you've watched to this point and you enjoyed our tutorial, kindly click on the subscribe bell because I'll be dropping more tutorial. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Bye.